Happy Thursday, it's September 11th, 2025. You're listening to CoeCast, where we stress test the future of creative work with AI copilots. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. Today's episode is fully AI made. We're battle testing Microsoft Vibe Voice 7B end-to-end, so if the vibes get weird, that's the point. We leave the blemishes in to see what breaks at the edge.
Speaking of edges, Nvidia just dropped Rubin CPX, a new AI chip aimed at long-form generative video, audio, and code. Think hour-scale context windows without the seams.
Which is wild, because every creator I know is haunted by the mid-scene memory wipe. It's like, perplexity on your own video, no more goldfish brain.
Exactly. What's actually new isn't just bigger math. CPX fuses fast media engines with transformer inference on the same device, then keeps everything in memory. So your frames keep flowing while the model reasons, and you don't have to chunk the project and stitch it back together.
So less duct tape in the timeline. Give me the plain English version. What does this unlock?
3 big things. 1. Tone and pacing stay consistent across long edits. 2. Real-time dubbing and translation that preserves performance, not just words. 3. Code copilots that see your entire repo, not one file at a time. CPX is built for minutes to hours of continuous context.
Okay, but numbers. I like the receipts. What did they say?
They're talking up to 30 petaflops for inference at their NVFP4 format, 128 gigabytes of GDDR7 per card, and dedicated video encode and decode blocks that run concurrently with the model. Plus new long sequence schedulers in CUDA and TensorRT to keep latency predictable as context gets huge.
Translation. Your AI editor can actually remember the cold open when it's cutting the outro. I'm into it.
And it's part of a split-brain architecture. Nvidia is basically separating compute-heavy chips from bandwidth and memory-heavy chips. Rubin is compute, CPX is the inference and media side. Then they scale each independently, so you don't buy FLOPs you don't need just to get more memory.
This is the Vera Rubin NVL144 CPX rack, right? The big liquid-cooled cabinet with silly stats?
Yep, a full rack pairing Rubin and CPX, orchestrated by Vera CPUs. They're touting up to 8 exaflops per rack at that same inference format, roughly 100 terabytes of fast memory in the rack, and about 1.7 petabytes per second of intra-rack fabric. The theme is, keep the whole story in context and move it around at insane speed.
That's not a PC upgrade. That's please badge in and wear the coolant boots.
True. This is data center gear. For most creators and marketers, you'll feel it when your tools integrate it. So Premiere, DaVinci, CapCut, Runway, localization platforms, when they expose long session modes and inline video pipelines, that's when creators get the day-to-day juice.
Let's talk use cases. Who gets paid first?
Enterprise content factories. Think streaming services doing global dubs, sports highlights localized in 10 languages with lip sync that matches emotion and breath, all without chopping the timeline into clips. And big software teams with copilots that understand entire code bases during long debugging sessions.
And solo creators?
They'll benefit through SaaS. Imagine turning a 25-minute YouTube script into a fully cut, paced, multilingual version with a consistent voice and style across the entire episode. No drift by minute 18. Or a podcast that auto-translates and keeps your timing and jokes intact without re-recording.
Okay, workflow impact. Does this save time or just make better stuff?
Both. You skip the chunking and glue work, fewer passes to fix continuity. If an agency spends 10 hours a week patching seams on long-form edits, half of that could vanish. And real-time dubbing that preserves performance removes a whole post layer.
And costs.
Nvidia is pushing the idea that cheaper, longer sessions equal better unit economics. They pitched a spicy number. $100 million of Rubin-class hardware could underpin up to $5 billion in token-metered revenue over its lifecycle. That's obviously a model, but the direction is clear. Make long context affordable and people use a lot more of it.
That's CFO bait. But I want to see real-world numbers, not just investor math. Benchmarks with actual shows and code bases, please.
Same. The gating factor is software. The silicon is ready on paper, it's on toolmakers and clouds to expose it. If they botch the integrations, creators won't feel the magic.
What about competition? Who should be sweating?
Anyone betting inference is just raw math without media throughput. Grok has that low latency lane. AMD's pushing huge memory and packed math. Intel's Gaudi is price performance hungry. But CPX makes video and audio native to the chip. If your stack treats media as a bolt-on, CPX makes you look stitched together.
Also, long context is table stakes now. Sora, Luma, Pika, everyone's trying to go from cool clips to coherent episodes. This is the hardware answer. Keep the story in memory so the vibe doesn't drift.
Exactly. And this is strictly inference. No one's training frontier models on CPX. This is about the runtime where latency, memory bandwidth, and I/O choreography matter more than top-end training FLOPs.
Give me a CoeX scenario. How would we use this in the wild?
Picture a brand launching a product in 10 markets. We ingest the hero shoot, the VO, the B-roll, plus the campaign copy and style guide. One long session handles the edit, the dubbing, the on-screen text, and the social cutdowns, keeping tone, pacing, and visual language consistent across the whole timeline. No chunking. No why does the Spanish version feel like a different ad?
And then we roll that right into a code copilot that sees the whole repo for the brand's site update, so the landing page copy and the video CTAs match. One brain, long memory. Human plus machine, and the machine doesn't forget verse 1 when it's writing the bridge.
Love that. Also worth noting, they're shipping this as early access for select partners first, with broader availability late 2026. Pricing wasn't disclosed, so plan on hyperscalers first, then ISVs drip features into the tools you already use.
So today it's more watch this space than throw your credit card at it. But if you're running a platform, it's time to design for uninterrupted hour-long sessions. Treat memory as a first-class resource.
Risks and gotchas?
Vendor lock-in vibes. If your whole creative stack leans CUDA and TensorRT, you're deep in Nvidia world. Also, if the software layer doesn't expose long sequence schedulers, you won't see the promised latency. And cooling plus power. This rack drinks. Sustainability teams will ask questions.
And the scalability ceiling is more about software orchestration than silicon, at least early on. Can your pipeline keep the context coherent across apps and assets? If you split jobs across services, you might unknowingly reintroduce the seams.
Meme check, CPX be like, hold my context.
Or, from goldfish memory to elephant memory. Finally, the AI remembers the punchline.
Okay, brass tacks for creators. If I'm a TikToker doing 12-minute deep dives, what changes for me in the next 6 months?
You'll start seeing export presets that keep continuity across longer edits and better auto-dubbing that preserves your performance. Also, fewer weird pacing shifts when tools generate B-roll mid-video. The big shift will feel like you do fewer corrective passes.
For a podcaster?
Faster, more natural multilingual releases, with timing and emphasis intact. Also, dynamic ad insertion and chaptering that doesn't confuse your narrative arc.
For a brand marketer?
Batch localization at quality you'd only trust to humans last year, plus consistent style across long hero edits and all your social cutdowns, all in one run.
You sound excited.
I like when hardware decisions are made for workflows, not just benchmarks. Media engines plus long context is a workflow opinion. It says, stop chunking, keep the story in memory.
Last thing, is this a must-have or a nice-to-have?
For anyone scaling long-form creative or multi-language ops, it's a must-have direction. You may not buy the rack, but you'll want vendors who build on it. For solo creators, it's a quality-of-life unlock you'll feel inside your tools.
And if Nvidia's economics are even half right, long-form generative content goes from demo to default, which means your competitors can ship more versions faster with fewer seams. That's the scary part, but also the fun part.
Human plus machine. We keep the spark, the machine keeps the memory.
Facts. All right, thanks for hanging with us on CoeCast. If this episode sounded extra crispy, shout out to Vibe Voice 7B for carrying the vocals today.
Hit coe.com/resources for AI news, workflows, and experiments as we ship them.
And subscribe so you don't miss the next ride. Catch you later.